Okay. Um, First and foremost, I just want to say thank you, God. Thank you, God, because I'm able to see things for they are. And man, this this program made me appreciate certain things. And I know who I am, but and I know I'm not perfect. But thank you, God, that these retardations. I gotta stop using that word. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to explain the level of like when you gaslight it, it becomes no longer logic, and people who are smarter than you and not even smarter than you, just people who are supposed to be logical people, you see them turn into something else. And I know they create these ways of creating a reality that's so falsified that it's almost childish. You see a grown man and woman's like, don't you feel embarrassed? They have started doing these things because they're supposed to make me think that it's like a group of like adventurers, and it's like today is our time and this and that, and you're gonna pay for what you've done and and I'm like, oh my goodness. I think the reality is like more like you have embarrassed us enough. Now we can watch you suffer because you made us look stupid. Because of course they have to be stupid. They have to dumb themselves down. I'm not saying they're stupid individuals, is they become that for the purpose of gaslighting me. I understand the reality of what they enjoy and the participation in this and what's really about. You hear the noise campaign is supposed to disorient me. I understand what this program can offer to somebody who wants to be a partaking in technology that is so above another level of sophistication. In my brain, they're just going through whatever. They have reconstructed me, they have manipulated me, and they want me to identify with this. The reason why I make videos is because even though they lock in whatever ways of thinking and put things together in this fashion, I will never give them the satisfaction to identify with it. Never. I understand what this program is about. It's about really redesigning a human being. It's controlling a human being. It's changing a human being. It's manipulating a human being. And you have this coward low life that some of them, listen, not all of them. Some of them can be CEOs. Some others can be just some fresh out of college kids or some fresh out of high school kids. Some actual children. They have nothing to show for and participate in this program. And you can hear this. Some of them are like I call this guy. He's like he's like a clown. He has no shame. He has no shame of how things look. He lives in a bubble where reality is just woo, what he makes up, and he loves it. I can tell that, and I'm like, please live this life like this. Watch how the bubble will burst real. Now, in the meantime, enjoy this. Watch me the sufferings I'm gonna go through. Get lost in that. I know that reality comes one way or another, but I gotta be strong and put things in the right perspective. Listen, everybody around me is supposed to play the part, and I will not let them do that. I will not give them that luxury. I know what this is about. I know, and they know. They know very well. They have started saying things like, it's our time. Like I said, say, no, it's time now. You pay, it's our time. Now we're going to watch you suffer. I'm like, listen, whatever way you try to paint this, I know what this is about. The reason why I like to show these videos and show things like that is because I don't want them to escape in their time fantasies, but reality. Because the truth is, they enjoy what they do. They enjoy what this thing is a part of, like what they can do in this program. They enjoy all of that. They love it, but they want to create a fantasy, especially this kind of man-child kind of people. So for me, I'm like, your time. It's been the time.
Since citizens being controlled by government-sanctioned experiments, is Cheryl Welch telling the truth, or are her claims absurd? Just another conspiracy theory that's impossible to prove. Maybe. But not if you listen to Nick Bettich. think there's some good evidence that Cheryl Welch and many of the other people I've spoken with have been victimized by this electromagnetic mind control experiments. The weapons of this century aren't bombs and bullets and ordnance, but electromagnetic energy targeting the human being, which is the greatest revolution in military affairs since gunpowder. Baggage is an expert in government mind control. He is convinced the Pentagon has mastered a technology once thought to be science fiction. The ability to broadcast information directly into the human brain. Our government began spending a lot of time looking at how to modify behaviors of human beings. Going back to the Korean War, in fact, in a publication, Low Intensity Conflict in Modern Technology, they have a chapter on electromagnetic weapon systems and being able not just to debilitate someone, but actually even to stimulate certain acts.
I guess it's been that time since the Korean War. Can you imagine just like coming up with this fantasy of what this is about? I know what I am. I am just another test subject in a program where they continuously developing this technology that can rewire you, destroy you, using energy weaponry. I'm already, my body, I know my organs are being destroyed. I know my body is just, I know everything is just, I'm losing, like I know my health is destroyed because I'm being, this technology, this weapon, this 21st, this here, as you mentioned here.
Not to mention everything else that we've done. So the human body couples with external fields of all kinds. For radio frequency, you can look at the Radio Frequency Dosimetry Handbook, 1986, University of Utah, produced for the Air Force. It gives you the resonant frequencies for each vital organ so that you can send in a radio signal that will couple with the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and cause it to malfunction so that you can degrade the performance of your adversary. The new weapon systems being developed today will attack the mind, the body, and our physiology on an energetic level. Not with bullets and bombs. It's a perfect Republican weapon. No offense to Republicans here, but you don't want to destroy the property. You have to rebuild it afterwards. This is a weapon systems of the 21st century. It's the very beginning of it in a lot of ways, but the research goes back over 50 years. The first thing...
These 21st century weaponries are being utilized on us target individuals for the purpose of developing this technology. It's not for our time. These people are clowns for trying to even present this freaking facade and psyop. They try to make it look like they do these things. This is what they like to do. As I'm saying that, try to counter reality. This is what happens as a target individual.
Stories. One guy believed it was some court. Why would you want to break down the ego of that person? Or Satan? So this gets into creating Manchurian candidates, split personality spies, and information couriers, people that will carry the V2K. So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could.
So they try to make it seem like this group of Avengers, this is not this massive government that's been working on this technology. Matter of fact, it's funny, I heard they use children to disorient me because he talks about spies. This whole started where they were trying to create what he said in the 60s during after the Korean War. They tried to create spies where they can do things and forget about it, and just so if they get captured, they won't know about any of the information. That's how it all started initially. Then this got bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is what's happening.
Do this.
So they try to paint the storylines. That's just comical. what's happening to me is because I'm a test subject. Like what's happening to all these people is because they're test subject where they're utilizing them as guinea pigs. And it's disgusting. What we deal with is so disgusting. The mind attacks consist of rewiring the thought process. Listen, I saw this thing here. I didn't even know what it was. It took me a second because my perception, my eyes, man. Listen, when it takes me sometimes a while to look at something and realize what it is. It took me a while. There was just a child. And I thought for a second there was like this little puppy dogs. I had to like look as my brain was just processing it so slow. So I'm looking at this picture here, and I'm supposed to it's I barely see it, and there's a kid over there, and they try to make me look at this kid in a sexual way. This tiny little, can't even see this picture like that. Try to create this perception section is so nasty. And you have these perps, this trash. Some of them are children. You heard. One person thought it was a 14-year-old neighbor, and she's like, oh, pedophile. I'm like, oh my gosh, if this kid will ever play this game in front of me like that, I don't know if I'm able to maintain composure. Because the reality is, I know they manipulate the brain in these disgusting ways. They are weaponizing brains in the sense that this technology, when it attacks the brain, it's not just to like make you have seizure or boom, no. It's like even the thought process get manipulated in a disgusting, degrading way. Your reactions are manipulated, your stimulation in offensive ways to break you down. It's not to just make you faint, which they can do that in a heartbeat. It's nothing they can do. It's just to even attack your mind as in your consciousness. That's how crazy it is. This other thing, they can make like this technology. Sometimes they say things like, I'm like, listen, I would be scared in any other circumstances. If they tell me, oh, this could be a knife, they're gonna stab you, I'm like, oh my gosh, no. But they're doing things to me with technology from this 21st century weapon system that can do so much to you that you're like a knife. You're cutting me up right now, and I'm not even noticing. You can do everything. They can evaporate me literally with this technology. They can do so much. And so for me, it's like, it's not that I'm not scared to get stabbed or not, but it's like comical. You talk about knife when you have 21st century weaponry that can do so much crazy damage and pain and all sort of things. Sometimes they can feel you, like they make you feel like you're burning. But now with me, they want to be theatrical. It's like, no, we're gonna be real. And I was like, what? Oh, so these people, you do this technology, 21st century, where you burn them using this technology, do this cutting of all these things you can do. And it's less evil. Trash ass. It's so nasty. They manipulate my brain. And the thing is, when I make these videos, is because they use perps of all ages, all sort of people, and they are opportunists because this technology, we're talking about 21st century level weaponry, but it's technology that can do so much to the human body. They can do this horrible thing sitting there on the desk, watching my organs fail, put them back together, blind me, make me see again, make me see better than do all these things, dry me up, rejuvenate. That's what they get out of it. This is the true satisfaction, and the rest is like our time. It's like, oh gosh, we just try to. They involved in the program where they burn genitals of women. So when they tell me burn him, I'm like, I'll jump in the fire because I know what the fuck you guys do to children and women. They burn the genitals of women. Children are burned. Literally. Like this people right now who are fully aware that I know these things. This is not even, I know they burn children using this technology. This is reality of what they're part of, and I know when I see this trash, I know what they do to children. This is not my testimonial. This is people with kids, a whole family.
And have had a decent education. I live in El Dorado Hills, California, with my wife of 14 years, Lorna, and our 5 children. Nicole is 15, Patricia 14, Christopher 13, Dylan 9, and Avery 16 months old. Not only have I been going through this, but my entire family has suffered right by my side. We have all experienced the same type of harassment on different levels. We have all suffered the same symptoms while this harassment was going on. Some of our physical symptoms include severe tooth decay and vision loss, unexplained rashes and burns, severe headaches, mood swings, anxiety.
Burning. The whole family, kids, babies. This stress like burn out, run into fire, piece of shit, involved in a program that I hear torturing children this ways. And then try to be like, burn it. I'll go. Where's the fire? Let's go. I'll put gasoline on myself. Come on. You think I can let people involved in this? Doing these things to children? And then play this like badass, just punish you. It's like trash. I see out here burning kids. Sorry, using this very 21st century weapon, sophisticated weapon, because you feel like you're burning. The manipulation, the thought process, I will never let these people live their fantasy. They are altering the mind and forcing people to have these reactions. And they use these trash and now we're mapping your brain, trash us. And I know that's their job. But for me, I'll be like, I'm not going to
designed to interact with the human nervous system in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
You understand? And on top of that, when it's like, oh, we're mapping, man, it's trash us. They've been out here altering the mind and learning how to alter the mind because of this.
In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues to this day.
Trash. You know what they say? Oh no, we're just human. No, alter the human behavior, control the mind, and alter the mind. And I see these people and they play this game with me. It's not gonna be good because I know they harm children. I know this the way what they do to babies. I know what they do to women. I know that they manipulate them, and they still try to gaslight me. I'm like, really? Trash. I pray to God that I don't have the strength or the ability, but these people, what they deserve is not something I'm even capable of doing. Because the way they play with the brain and the ability of controlling the human brain and the shamelessness they have, no shame, meaning that they have no shame to sound stupid. They have no shame of looking like, obviously, that's they have no shame to make me look like a genius. That's what I'm trying to say. They have no shame to make me feel like I'm this super savant. Because these people...
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of them. Like this disgusting thing.
They have no shame. Like, it's not even the shame to torture people. The shame of just like, don't you like tired of me sounding like this genius prophet? Aren't you embarrassed like to the point where how much you making me look so smart just because you're dumbing yourself down in order to gaslight me? Trash of a human being. They are here rewind the thought process. You know what? Look how much of a genius I've become with that time. This is why humiliation on top of that. Oh my gosh.
And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains.
And then on top of that, just to add the cherry on top of everything, you know, they're like, yeah, you're a pedophile. Listen, I'm reading this. This is 2019. The Defense Department network ranked 19th out of 2,891 internet service provider for peer-to-peer trading of child porn in 2018, according to National Criminal Justice Training Center, suggesting the problem has only gotten worse in the 10 years since Project Flickr wrapped up. They tried to block the 19th out of 2000 something just to try to stop this reality, saying that the problem of child porn and pedophilia has only gotten worse since when they had this huge investigation in 2007 or so. And said, now we are the parent. And then they're like, no, but you pay for what you did as a kid. It's time to, what? Listen to what they do to children. You heard the burning of children? Can you imagine what? Listen to how bad it gets with the torture and how they traumatize these kids.
The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also worked with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister, who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, ow. I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions.
Sexual torture or harming of the genitals. And they do that to women. Look at this.
Yesterday I went to the beach and drank a couple of beers and just sat down there after laying in bed and sobbing for 2 hours because the private parts of my body were being burned and my breasts and moved. And just the trauma from it. Not being able to cope with the pain and the emotional trauma that comes from someone harming me using, I guess, remote medical technology is my best guess. I went and saw it.
I will never let them live their fantasy. Traumatizing individual stay strong.